Hi, I'm Nicholas from Ratings.com. Today we'll be doing a review of the Insignia F50 QLED. We'll be evaluating it on our standardized test bench to see how it performs and if you should buy it. We bought and tested the 65-inch model, and we expect the other sizes to perform the same. This is only sold at Best Buy in the US, and it's the highest end model in the Insignia lineup, sitting above the F30 and F20 series. The Insignia F50 has a pretty standard design, so there isn't much to talk about. It looks nice for an entry-level TV. The stand has two large plastic feet, and it's nearly the width of the TV, so you'll need a big table to place it on. It lifts the screen about 3 inches off the table, so placing a soundbar in front won't block the screen. It supports the TV well, but there's still a bit of wobble. Most of the inputs face to the side and are easy to access if you want to wall mount the TV. However, there are a few that are in the back and face down, so they're harder to reach. The selection of inputs is pretty standard with 4 HDMI ports. However, this TV is a bit unique because it still has composite inputs, so you could connect old gaming consoles like a PS2 or Wii. Not many TVs now have this input. The back of the TV fits the VESA 300 by 200 mount standard, so you could wall mount it if you want. Sadly, there's nothing for cable management to keep your setup clean. The build quality is okay, which is what you expect from an entry-level model. It's mainly plastic, and even if the back is metal, it feels cheap and flexes easily. There's nothing wrong with the actual build of the TV, but you could tell it's not a premium model. Now onto our test results, and we'll start with the contrast. A high contrast ratio results in deep, dark blacks, which is good if you want to watch movies in the dark. Luckily, the F50 has a high contrast ratio thanks to its VA panel. You'll see deep blacks when you're watching content in a dark room. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a local dimming feature to further improve the contrast. On the other hand, if you want to use the TV in a bright room, then a high peak brightness is important to overcome glare or to make highlights more vivid. The SDR peak brightness is decent. It's bright enough to fight glare if you have a few lights around, but it's not enough for rooms with direct sunlight. It gets brighter in HDR, but the overall HDR peak brightness is still disappointing. It doesn't make highlights pop for an impactful HDR experience. Also important for a bright room is good reflection handling, which is decent on the Insignia F50. Combined with a decent peak brightness, it's a good choice with rooms with a few lights around. But glare will be distracting if there are strong light sources, like if you put it opposite a really bright window. If you have a wide seating arrangement and watch TV with a group of people, then a good viewing angle is important. This helps make sure everyone sees an accurate image no matter where they sit. Unfortunately, this TV has a VA panel with a narrow viewing angle. The image looks washed out and inaccurate from the sides, so it's not a good choice for a wide seating area. An overall uniform screen brightness and color is important when watching sports or playing video games to avoid the appearance of clouding known as dirty screen effect. The F50 has good gray uniformity. The edges are a bit darker than the rest of the screen, and there's some dirty screen effect in the center, but it's not distracting at all. The black uniformity is also good. There's some clouding throughout, which you'll notice in dark scenes, but once again, it's not a big problem. A lot of people care that a TV has good colors. In this case, the Insignia F50 uses a quantum dot layer to help it display an excellent color gamut. This means that it displays a wide range of colors, and it has great out-of-the-box accuracy. This is great if you like an image with extra saturation or if you watch HDR content. It's one of the few entry-level TVs to actually display a wide color gamut, so it's a cool feature of this TV. Some TVs struggle to display smooth gradients, which is visible when watching scenes with shades of similar colors. Sadly, the Insignia F50 has mediocre gradient handling, and there's more banding than most TVs we've tested. This is noticeable in scenes with a sunset or in some game menus. There's a setting to reduce the banding, but it also causes a loss of fine details in high quality content. Before we move on to the gaming performance, let's have a look at one more important part about picture quality, which is upscaling. You need good upscaling if you watch lower resolution content, like from DVDs and cable boxes. Unfortunately, the Insignia F50 has some trouble with upscaling. It doesn't properly upscale a 480p image as it stretches it out and the aspect ratio is off. This is especially disappointing if you tend to watch DVDs or SD cable channels. It's not an uncommon issue as we've seen this on a few other TVs, but it's not ideal if you watch a lot of 480p content. As for 720p content, it has decent upscaling, but it's not as good as some other TVs. However, it's still fine if you often watch HD cable channels. Luckily, it doesn't have any issues with 1080p and 4K content, which is great for watching Blu-rays and for streaming. Now, let's take a look at the gaming performance. When playing video games, a fast response time is important for the clearest image possible without distracting blur. The Insignia F50 has a very good overall response time, but motion still doesn't look the best. Like other TVs with VA panels, it has black smearing with dark objects. This is noticeable if you play video games with dark scenes, but it's not the worst case of black smearing either. A low input lag is also important for a responsive feel when playing video games, and thankfully this TV has low input lag in game mode. Gaming feels responsive and you won't notice any delay. Sadly, the input lag is very high in PC mode, so if you're going to use it as a PC monitor, just make sure you're in game mode and not PC mode. However, it doesn't display clear text from a PC if you're using Chroma 444 subsampling, so it's best to avoid using it as a PC monitor. Still, text looks clear from the Xbox Series X and PS5 because they use Chroma 422 subsampling, which this TV supports. You're able to read in-game menus without any issue. Speaking of gaming, this TV supports all of the common signals up to 60 Hz from the Xbox Series X and PS5. It's fine for casual gamers, but it's limited on extra features. It has HDMI 2.0 bandwidth and a 60 Hz panel, so you can't use it for high frame rate gaming. Also, it doesn't support any variable refresh rate technology to reduce screen tearing. The sound of this TV is okay. It has a well-balanced sound profile that makes dialogue sound clear. It also doesn't have any noticeable distortion, which is great. Sadly, like any TV speaker, it doesn't produce much bass. Overall, it's typical of most TVs, and it's fine if you're not looking for the best sound quality. If you are, then you should definitely get a soundbar or dedicated speakers for the best sound experience. Lastly, let's take a look at the smart features. It uses the Amazon Fire TV Smart platform, which is very user-friendly, and navigating through the interface is a breeze. There are a ton of apps you could download through the App Store too. Sadly, like most modern TVs, there are ads throughout the interface, and there's no way to disable them. The remote it comes with is pretty simple, and it does its job. It has shortcut buttons to popular streaming services, and it has a mic for voice control. You can ask it to open apps and search for content, which is much easier than on-screen typing to find your favorite show. So, this brings us to the main question. Should you buy this TV? Honestly, it really depends what you're looking for and how you're going to use it. If you need a simple TV to stream your favorite shows and don't want to spend a lot of money, this is a good choice for you. The Fire TV interface is good and you won't need to buy any extra streaming boxes. Unlike most entry-level TVs, it displays a wide range of colors, so images in HDR appear lifelike. Picture quality is also good for an entry-level TV as it displays deep blacks. However, if you only watch SD cable channels or DVDs, the upscaling issues are a concern. If you don't mind spending a bit more, the Hisense U6G doesn't have any problems with upscaling and the overall picture quality is better. Even if you want something cheaper, the Amazon Fire TV 4 series uses the same Smart OS and has decent upscaling. Of course, if you're a competitive gamer or want the best picture quality possible, this TV isn't right for you because it's a basic option with limited features. You won't find those extra features with entry-level TVs anyways, so you'll have to spend a bit more money for that.